My name is Darna. What's your name?
My name's Colin.
Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm an English teacher here at the university.
Uh, have you heard about time zone changing?
Have I heard about time zone change in Kazakhstan? Yes, I'm from America. I'm from Boston, so I'm very used to our time zone change. In America, in every state, I think, except for Arizona, we change the clocks twice a year. So in the fall, we move back in time, which I think is what we just did, but I'm not sure because it confuses me. So we lose a lot of daylight. The sun sets earlier in the day. And then in the spring, to get ready for summer, the clocks move back forward and we have a lot more light towards the end of the day. So I'm very used to this sort of change.
You what for you do this time zone changing?
This time zone change in America, I think it's an old tradition that we do to help farmers, to give them more daylight in the morning so that they can see the machinery they're working with and see what they're doing in the morning. So they have to wake up early. But now the purpose is highly debated. A lot of people want to change this law of changing our clocks in America.
So this didn't affect on your aspects of your life?
No, it does. Well, the time change here, it's made things a little bit easier. I have weekly appointments on video call, and I need to talk to my parents on call back in America, so it makes it easier to contact them because now I get home, and if it's 7 o'clock here at night, it will be 9 o'clock in the morning for my family, my parents, everybody else that I want to talk to. So I'm more active talking to people from home.
What is the strangest dish that you ever eaten or would like to try?
The strangest dish I've eaten, I think, is probably Shabbat, camel milk. Yeah. That's the one I think it's even weirder than kumaz. But kumaz is also the weirdest tasting, I think. I've never tasted anything like kumaz or kort. Also, eating horse meat has been very strange. I've eaten it and I think it's okay. And for things I'd like to try, I'm very excited that Nowruz is coming up and I'll be able to try Nowruz Kaja. I'm looking forward to it. I like eating new things, so I'm excited.
What aspects of Kazakhstan were you interested in learning about?
What aspects was I interested in learning about, or am I? I was interested in learning the language. It turns out that's way harder than I thought it was going to be. It's hard to find tutor, but I found classes now. I go to weekend classes at the American Corner in Pushkin Library, where I'm now practicing first grammar structures of the Kazakh language, and then I think we're going to get to more speaking, but still it's very difficult. Other things I was interested in learning about was things like Nowruz, local like traditional events, tradition, because it's not well known, I think, in America. Things like more of the traditions from the Soviet Union era, like Women's Day and first day of school, things like this, they're known to people who are learning Russian in America and England. But things like Nowruz or Kazakh Independence Day, Day of the Republic, things like this, things like Kumis, they're not known.
In general, what did you know about Kazakhstan before arriving?
Before arriving in Kazakhstan, I knew that it was a very big country. I knew that it's a bilingual country, trying to become trilingual with Russian, Kazakh, and English. I knew that there are two cities named Astana and Almaty, but back then I pronounced them, I said Nur Sultan and Almaty like this. That's how I said them. Um, and I wasn't expecting to have any other cities around in the country really, but now I know there are many cities. I think um, Uskümen is way bigger than I expected it to be. Um, Other things I knew about Kazakhstan, I knew what the flag looks like. I knew about the steppe, about even the instrument, the dambra, some Kazakh literature I was slightly familiar with from classes in university. And of course, I knew a lot of Soviet history and Russian history.
Did you prepare for arriving?
Did I prepare? How so?
Like learning about culture or mentality.
No, I didn't really prepare. When I came, I was very confident in my Russian speaking ability, which was knocked down basically very quickly. Pretty once I started speaking Russian to taxi drivers and store clerks and people like this and people who speak really quickly. So that was like 9 years of preparation. I think learning a different language. Um, but before I came to this city and to the university, I was in orientation with the American Embassy in Astana, Astana, the American Embassy in Astana. And here we had orientation where we met my fellow Americans who are doing the same program as I am in different cities. We met American officials telling us what to expect. We ate like traditional Kazakh foods. We went out to dinner, um, met people who would help us move in to our new cities. I had a very wonderful um, helper from the U.S. Embassy named Alina who helped me move in here. And she's from Uсть-Каменогорск, so she was very helpful and helping me prepare, helping me find an apartment, find where to go, get groceries. Um, so I think I was well prepared to be here.
Which cities or places in Kazakhstan you would like to visit?
I would like to go to pretty much every city. I've been to Almaty and Astana. I'd like to go, I think especially to Shymkent and Aktobe or other any city that's on the Caspian Sea, because I would love to see this. I would also, I have been trying to go to Semey, trying to find a good opportunity because I have two friends who live there, but they always come here instead. But I want to go to the Dostoevsky Museum there. So, yeah.
Okay. What aspects of Kazakh culture, history, or traditions were most interesting in or unusual to you?
Hmm. I think the most interesting part of the culture to me has been the religion here. That's one thing that has surprised me. I didn't realize how Muslim this country was. I didn't know how it would affect daily life. I think from where I come from in Boston, that we're primarily Catholic, and our culture, I think, is deeply affected by this and deeply intertwined, our culture and our religion. I think I feel a similar attitude here. So that's very interesting to me. Um, Most surprising is a difficult one. I don't even really know the most surprising. I was very surprised to learn that I don't want to keep talking about kort and kumiz. But that was very surprising to me, drinking horse milk. But it's surprised me like the first time I heard it, and now it feels normal.
Okay. What challenges or difficulties you faced in Kazakhstan?
Challenges and difficulties. I think every day needing to speak in a different language is a challenge. I think I've gotten better at speaking Russian, and I can get by, but it's hard. It's really frustrating and difficult to try to practice Russian and then have somebody instantly switch to English with me. I also find a lot of the time I'll be having a conversation in Russian and I won't hear what the person said, or like a big, like loud bang or clap happens while they're talking, or they're just talking really slow, like quickly and mumbling. And I say, "Can you repeat?" And then they repeat in English because they think I didn't understand the Russian, but I really just couldn't hear them. So that's difficult. It's frustrating. Other things that are difficult. Mm, I feel the one thing I miss about America is having a car. I love the public transit here, but I wish I had a car so on the weekends I could go to different places, to like wherever I want. Because if I had the level of freedom I have here with a car and I was in America, I feel like every weekend I would go skiing, go to an excursion somewhere outside of Boston, go to the beach, something like this. But here I need to, it's like you have to plan these things more in advance. And also, I think drinking coffee, because there's not much iced coffee here, which this is like kind of a joke, but drinking hot coffee, it's a challenge for me always because I drink, like when I first get a hot coffee, you drink it and it's way too hot, so then you let it sit and then you drink it again, it's still too hot, but you can manage it, and then it gets to the perfect heat and then it's over. Once it gets to the perfect, as soon as it gets to the perfect heat, it's done. Which is why I prefer iced coffee because it's always cold, so you can just drink it at a good pace. Because hot coffee, it eventually gets too cold, and then it tastes gross.
Yeah.
So that's difficult in my life.
What kind of entertainment, hobbies, or sports did you do in Kazakhstan?
I unfortunately haven't done much sports. I went to a lot of hockey games, which hockey's my favorite sport, I think. One of my favorite sports. I also love to go ice skating. So I've been ice skating a lot on my own. I go to um, Altai Stadium, and there's a little rink. I don't know what the area is called. It's like this green park, long green strip. Like it's near um, Ushanova. Ushonova. Like it's like a little street that has a park in the middle, and there's an ice rink.
Oh, it's Paganka.
Paganka.
Yeah.
I like skating here. And entertainment, I've gone to movies more. I saw Killers of the Flower Moon in theaters, and I saw Master and Margarita in theaters. So I saw two movies, which is 200% of the movies I've seen in America in theaters in the past like 10 years, because I don't go to the theater that much in America.
What do you like most and least about living in Kazakhstan?
What I like most is it's my first time ever living alone in an apartment. And I love living alone or living on my own means. I like cleaning, like keeping my own house, cooking for myself, having a ton of privacy. I like, it's my little place, all mine. I can have my friends over when I want, and I can, you know, watch movies late at night, play my guitar whenever I want. So it's nice. Um, Another good thing, I think the culture around food here is more healthy than it is in the US. It's more of like a ritualistic thing where everybody, you eat meals together and it's less wasteful. You have more, mm, I think, a more healthy mindset around food for the most part, which I like about this place. What's been my least favorite part? I think the ecology, as people describe it, um, it hasn't affected me too much, like the smog. Um, but what I don't like is how much litter there is on the street. Like I see empty cans, empty bags on the street all the time. And it's a shame because I think it's a great city, and it just makes it less nice, more polluted.
What stereotypes about Kazakhstan have you heard?
I don't think I've heard many stereotypes. Um,
Or maybe some information from Borat.
yeah. So I've seen the movie Borat. So from this movie, I think the stereotypes my friends have gotten is that it's just a very rural and poor country where people live with like cows in their house and like things like this, which is just not true. And the other one, I think people expect Kazakhstan to be very conservative culturally, which is sometimes true, but not to the extent that Borat makes it sound, I think.
What motivates you?
What motivates me?
Yeah.
I think the love of learning languages is what's motivating me right now, and the love of cultural experiences, cultural exchange. I think it's what I'm meant to be doing, so I have great motivation from this.
What makes you frustrated in teaching?
Um, what makes me frustrated in teaching is when students speak when I'm talking or because I used to always think teachers were stupid for being mad when people were talking in class. But then now I kind of realize it's frustrating for the teacher because when you're speaking about something, or if, for example, if somebody asks a question and you're trying to explain it to this person and somebody else is talking and distracting me and distracting the student I'm trying to explain something to, it's really unfair to the student who asks the question. Um, it's unfair to the students who are trying to participate. And I still haven't found a good way to deal with it because I don't like yelling. I'm too afraid to yell. I also hate it when students are just not participating and going on their phone in class. It makes me feel bad when somebody's not um, paying attention. Not when somebody's like looking on their phone, not wanting to be a part of the class. I wish I had better strategies at getting them interested because I think it's an important subject, English, and they're missing out.
Which achievements of Kazakhstan have impressed you?
Achievements of Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Like, for example, what?
Maybe some architecture buildings, or maybe innovations of Kazakhstan.
Oh, Kaspi. Kaspi, it's the greatest thing I've ever. It's the most genius idea. I'm not sure if Kazakhstan came up with it, but it is a ingenious system that makes payment so easy, especially on public transit. Because in America, the innovation you have the best here, I think, is in the buses. You have somebody walking in the bus trying to, or making sure everybody has paid, which we do not have in America in a lot of places. So a lot of people jump on buses or trains without paying. And it might be because it's hard to pay a bus because you have to have coins or a special card. But here, if you don't have coins or a special card, you can just scan your phone on the barcode for Kaspi. And it's amazing. And I wish America had something like this.
What are your plans for the future?
For the future, I want to return to Kazakhstan. I want to come back to teach more. After this, I want to further my education. I want to get a master's and a PhD, and my goal is to become a Russian professor in America or in Ireland or the UK.
Would you recommend your friends to visit Kazakhstan?
Yes, absolutely. I have many friends, especially my friends who love hiking, who love nature. I'd absolutely recommend them to come here. Um, and my friends who love hockey, my friends who like interesting cultural experiences, I guess, new food, new types of food. I think, yes, I would absolutely recommend.
And what advice or recommendation you would give to Americans that are going to visit Kazakhstan?
If I could give advice to Americans who are visiting Kazakhstan, I would say, I don't know, don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Maybe somebody will speak English, maybe they won't. Um, I would also say, don't bring um, white shoes, your nicest pair of shoes, because you will be doing a lot of walking, and especially in the winter, I think there's a lot of dirt in the snow when you step in it, or even when it rains. Don't bring white shoes. I only brought white shoes, and now they're all very dirty. Maybe that's what would happen anywhere, but I'd say this. And also, the advice I got before I came here was take your warmest winter coat that you have at home and throw it out and buy a warmer one because it gets so cold. And it's good advice because it does get cold. So you need a big winter coat.
Did you get interested in some technical subjects?
No. I wish I did, but no, I don't like I'd rather spend my time elsewhere, I think.
Tell me about your experience of teaching here.
My experience teaching here, it's really more than anything, it's helped, I think, my public speaking skills and my ability to captivate an audience. Meaning, on some days, I come to class prepared with really good topics to talk about. I get everybody interested, everybody listening to me and participating. And I think that's really the key with teaching is to get everybody engaged. And sometimes I come into class less prepared, or maybe the topic isn't as interesting as I thought it would be, and people doze off, go on their phones. So it's helped me learn how to catch the attention of an audience, which I think is actually a very important thing. Good skill.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darna. Thank you.